Welcome everybody to Extreme Off-Road Silly Builds, and today we're dealing with the 2021 Audi RS e-tron GT. Now this has 962 horsepower, 924 pounds-feet of torque from its 64 kilowatt-hour battery plus 2 electric motors. The car itself now weighs 4,001 pounds, still has all-wheel drive, but it now has off-road tyres and off-road suspension, and it can now do 0 to 60 in 2.669 seconds. 0 to 105.270 seconds, and going to a top speed of 189 miles an hour. So yeah, the top speed might be on the quite low side, but we're unlikely to even get close to that top speed anyway. So I've not, sacrificed acceleration for a high top speed. So yeah, the acceleration is still far quicker than it was in its stock form. And yeah, it's obviously lighter, it's got way more in the way of power, it's got about 300 horsepower more. So yeah, it's on the whole a faster, lighter car, but as you can see the handling is a little bit on the low side. But the speed, the acceleration, launch and braking are all really solid, but yeah, really concerned about the handling, and yeah, the off-road capability is a little bit on the low side in comparison to some cars as well. So yeah, we've only had one other Audi on this series so far, and that is the TTRS, which did respectably, but it's only just in the top 40. I think it's in 35th place, so far from the quickest car that we've had, but also far from the slowest, so it's about in the middle ground. So yeah, let's see what this future of Audi can do. See, the electric is the future for a lot of manufacturers nowadays, so yeah, let's hope that this can do well. Now this is based on the Taycan Turbo S from Porsche, so yeah, and that was not particularly quick, although granted that was yeah, one of the very few first cars that we take on this series to start with, so we were still pretty much getting our eye in with those cars at the start, so maybe that was why it was as slow as it was. But yeah, we'll just have to see if this can do any better. When it comes to the end of the series, for a long while from now, we might well do a redo of the first few vehicles that we took out on here to see if they can actually go any quicker. Now that we have far greater experience on this course now, after more than 60 vehicles have gone down here so far. Yeah, proving pretty quick in terms of its acceleration, as expected. That jumped fairly well as well. It's doing pretty fine so far, no real issues, so it's good to see. Obviously electric cars have had some success on here before, with the Lotus Evija getting into 3rd place, which was an incredible time and run down this course, so hopefully this can do pretty well as well. I'm not expecting it to be quite as quick as that Evija, because it had a hell of a lot more power. I think it was lighter than this, so I will be pleased if it can beat the TTRS and then some. It's really pretty quick though. Far more agile than a 4,000 pound plus car should feel, quite frankly. Although to be fair, most cars that do weigh around this amount are SUVs and therefore have more ground clearance and higher centre of gravity and the like, so that's probably why it feels as nippy as it is, and more than 140 down there is pretty good. Not much in the way of understeer, despite all of that additional power that's going to be running through those front wheels, so the all-wheel drive system is helping keep that power in check, while also giving us obviously the grip that we need for this off-road course. And obviously the advantages of having an electric car are coming into the fore as well. The fact that the power is pretty much always there. Good at maintaining speed through corners as well. And there we go, nearly 130 miles an hour across the finish line, and a time of 3 minutes 18 seconds .373, which is a remarkably quick time. That is not quite in the top 10, but it's comfortably in the top 20, and yeah, it's about, oh, how much quicker than the TTRS, which managed a time of 3 minutes 27.065, so we're nearly 10 seconds ahead of that Audi TTRS, and yeah, that means we are, I think, the third fastest electric car that we've had on this series so far, beating out the Ford Mustang Mach-E 1400 by nearly 4 seconds, and yeah, only behind the likes of the Extreme E X44, which managed 3 minutes 16.347, and behind the Lotus Evija with 3 minutes 15.871. So not massively far behind. You know, a car that in the form of the Extreme E vehicle is obviously meant for going off-road, and not all that far behind what is essentially a hypercar, because the Lotus Evija has way more power than this. So yeah, that is mightily impressive, and it means that we also beat the likes of other off-road orientated vehicles like the Jeep Gladiator Rubicon, the Nissan Safari Z370Z, the Aston Martin DBX, the Toyota Hilux AT38, the Toyota 4Runner TRD Pro, and the GMC Jimmy. So yeah, massively impressed by this, given, you know, it's still not got all that much power in comparison to some cars in this series, which usually have more than 1,000, and yeah, obviously it still weighs a fair bit as well. But despite all of that, the advantages of all-wheel drive, the advantages of electric motors going through that all-wheel drive system all proved really rather nice, because it was getting out of the corners quickly, it was getting up to its acceleration, getting through its acceleration really quickly, getting up to 120, 130 and even 140 miles an hour really rather rapidly, and yeah, it was handling, despite the stat being quite low, really rather nicely. So yeah, the stat there not proving you know, to be a bit of a naysayer, quite frankly, because yeah, definitely overcame that 5.0 handling stat. So yeah, really impressed and really surprised by how quick it actually was, because like I said, I was a bit ambivalent at the start, but it's proved me wrong. So yeah, nonetheless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.